Good evening, everyone. We are back, and this is we made it again. I feel like we did this video a couple of weeks ago with Moana 2, where we were like, this is the big finale, we're done. This is sort of like our little epilogue. We were just sort of filling in the two remaining US Disney Animated Canon movies. We did Disney's Dinosaur last week, and we're concluding the whole Disney thing. We've done all of them, both lists, with the 2011 film Winnie the Pooh. This is actually a Disney Animation Studios film, so personally I think this should be in our canon as well, not Disney's Dinosaur, because that was made by a different company. Our list should literally be take out the wild, put this one in, boom, you've got your list. Everyone's happy. And yeah, we're here to talk about it. This is actually probably one of the shortest Disney films. It's down at 63 minutes, but that includes credits, I believe. So I think this clocks in at around 50 odd minutes. It's really, really short. In fact, I don't even think what is like the qualifying thing for a feature film. Does it have to be over 60 minutes?
I think it has to be an hour. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Dumbo was pretty short, wasn't it? Was Dumbo like 64 or 61? So Dumbo just made the cut with that. But yeah, here we go. So people wanted it. Here we are talking about Winnie the Pooh. Let me just bring up some comments. We've got Anita Bailey in the comments, who's saying, I miss 2D animation a lot and miss the 2000s. We all do. We all get very, very nostalgic. And actually, it's kind of poetic that we're doing this one as the last one real quick, because Anita mentions missing classic 2D animation in films. This is actually, so far, the last traditional animated Disney classic that has been made by Disney Animation Studios. So it's kind of a nice one to finish, really. It's our last Disney Classics review episodes that we're doing, and it's the last hand-drawn one.
Thing is, like, what qualifies as a feature? But what qualifies as an album? Like, how many songs does an album have to have?
Yeah, because you got like an EP, that's
yeah,
like
but I mean to be a full-length album.
I don't know. I guess it can vary, right?
Because it's around like what, 12 songs?
Something like that. Well, I usually go by runtime, and most albums are about sort of like half hour, 40-ish minutes, aren't they?
Because this is the thing, like, you know,
then you get double albums, and it's like, oh, okay, now.
But I'm on about just a standard studio album, because most you get like 12 songs. Like most features you get over an hour, but this just kind of just drops below that. Like, there's a lot of Van Halen albums that drop just below that 10 song mark. They're about 9 songs. So. And that was it. I've referenced Van Halen in every single Disney.
Yeah, we did it. I thought you were gonna save it till the very, very end or something. There might be some more. We might have some more Van Halen. Well, whenever they crop up, that's the beauty of them. We got Bath Time, who says, "Oh my God, it's the lads." It is the lads. We're back.
Has anyone else ever tried black pudding and milk?
Oh, so in a string of food-related topics that we've talked about in the last few episodes, what we've had with us for breakfast cereal. Soup. We've talked about soup as well. So today's is, well, what combination did you take?
Black pudding and milk.
Black pudding and milk. Now, for anyone who's overseas, do they get black pudding in America? Is that a thing, or is that kind of a British thing?
I think it's more of a British thing, but I would recommend getting some bacon, dipping it in blood, and just mixing it together. And it's kind of similar.
I just love, we just had Brinsley tune in now, says sup lads. Brinsley's just tuning in, and Kurt the gamer as well. And we're just talking about like an ingredient, like you're going to mix it in, you're going to add a little pinch of salt,
bit of blood.
Whole thing. Yeah, there we go. Bath Time says, have you seen the Spanish memes about Montoya por favor? It's peak cinema. I haven't. I'm kind of out of the loop there, I guess, in terms of my memes.
What does por favor mean?
Please. Yeah. And Bath Time says, I've had black pudding. It was delicious.
It's fucking amazing.
Bringing it tactically back to Winnie the Pooh real quick. Obviously, keep your comments coming in. This 2011 Winnie the Pooh, was this your first time watching it today before the stream, or had you seen it before?
Nah, I'd seen it before, but it blends in with the Winnie the Pooh TV show I used to watch when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like it feels like it's just an episode, isn't it? It's just a TV show. That's what it feels like. It's got, I don't know, like the structure is just very. It feels like Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. It just feels like a TV show. It's very Kingdom Hearts 2 with the letters on the thing, and like when you ride through the letters, and like in the book, that's
Well,
what
they
it
did
is.
that in the original one, didn't they, as well? The interacting with the actual text from the
Yeah,
book.
but I feel like this is more because there was more of like the letters and stuff, and don't they? Because they use the letters, don't they, to climb the hole, and I feel this is used a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Kind of reminds me of, I know in some Mario games you kind of break apart the ending credits. The ending credits is almost like a little mini level in and of itself, but
You do that in one of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yes, is it Kingdom Hearts 2? Kingdom
No,
Hearts
Dream Drop
2?
Distance.
Oh, is it? Okay. I haven't played that one, but I have seen that one.
Yeah,
I
you
think I
have.
have seen
There's
that bit.
like a secret message in the credits.
Yeah.
All the golden letters.
So this one that we're reviewing today is actually apparently the 5th Winnie the Pooh theatrical film. I'm wondering if we can name all 5 of them right off the bat. So you'd have had the original that we reviewed, number 20, what was it, number 22, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. You got this one. And then I'm thinking it's the Tigger movie, the Piglet movie, and the Heffalump movie. Would they be the other 3?
And then you got Blood and Honey. Blood and Honey.
Yeah, and Blood and Honey too. Yeah. Oh, bother.
Great movies.
And this is quite funny to read this now, because now it's just this was kind of like a big shocker that this was apparently the first sequel produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios in 12 years since Fantasia 2000. My, how times have changed. Now it's just like, oh, what's the next one? Oh, it's a sequel. Okay, of course it is. It's the last sequel in a year. And then the following year, oh, it's been 1 year since the last
Sequel
Disney
should
sequel.
not fucking count.
Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, I mean, if we look at sort of the run of sequels at this point, when this came out in 2011, you'd had at this point what, Rescuers Down Under, Fantasia 2000, and this one, I guess, and now it's just left, right, and center. Now it's like every film gets a sequel. Frozen's getting not just a trilogy. We had this discussion. Quadrilogy. Some say quintology. Quad. I don't know. Something else.
Yeah. It's going to be out of a
tetralogy. Tetralogy. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could you just put my volume down just a tad? Sorry.
It's going to be the first octology.
Yes, probably, if it keeps selling, which no doubt it will. For me, yeah, I've seen this one once before, and I remember really liking it. I mean, Winnie the Pooh is just really fucking charming. It's really, really difficult to fuck Winnie the Pooh up. Like, if it's just told, it's just nice. You know, you just switch your brain off and just, you know, the whimsy and the charm of it. And I actually really like the original Disney animated one. I think it just the art style, absolutely loved in that, the illustrations and whatnot. Not exactly how they were in the original book, but it was a good sort of Disney-fied, if you want to use that, adaptation of what the illustrations were in the book, using words directly from the book as well, and that interactivity and that breaking the fourth wall with Winnie the Pooh and the narrator, who was the voice of Bagheera, wasn't it? And it's John Cleese in this one. So I actually thought John Cleese was a perfect replacement, I guess, for that narrator character. The voice and the cadence and everything was very, very similar. And it is a very nice sort of nostalgic trip down memory lane, this one. It's, you know, it is honoring that original. There is an update to the animation, and you can very much see that. I think that, you know, certainly the backgrounds and whatnot, you know, look very, very similar. The interactivity with the text in the book is quite there, and they use it in some quite clever ways as well. I'll go into that when we talk about our favorite scenes, because I didn't remember that actually, and I thought that was quite fun how they did that. But the characters definitely look a lot more digital and clean, and a couple of the characters look like they've had a complete redesign. There's some that I'm not too keen on. Christopher Robin, for one, looks really weird because he's got like the big Disney eyes in this, which I don't feel like he had in the original. I feel like he just looked kind of normal in the original, and this one he's just got like the big expressive eyes, and the voice is different as well. And that's something that you're always going to get when, you know, it's funny how time works. You know, actors retire or die, and, you know, voices for characters that are legacy characters like this, like your Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, or even Looney Tunes, or whatever it happens to be, you do have to get replacement voices in. And sometimes those replacements are excellent, and you barely notice a change, and they capture all the nuances of the voice. And sometimes there's a bit of a swing and a miss. And there's a couple of characters in this that I feel is a bit of a swing and the miss. The ones that stick out to me are Christopher Robin, who feels proper fucking Cockney in this one for some reason, more so than last time. And Rabbit's voice as well really stood out to me as not
Didn't love
belonging.
Owl's voice in this.
That was Craig Ferguson, wasn't it? I think who did Owl. I think.
Of a fan in this.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you mean. It's like, and this is just when you get used to that old one. It's kind of like what I have with the Muppets now. In my mind, I've got such an idea of what the Muppets sound like from watching Muppets Christmas Carol, Muppets Treasure Island, and some episodes of the Muppet Show, that when I watch any new stuff related to them now, I'm like, that's just wrong. That's not the character. That's not how they sound. So yeah, I kind of had that a little bit with Owl. You do have some returning voice actors. You've got, the fantastic Jim Cummings as Winnie the Pooh and Tigger in this. You've got Travis Oates as Piglet as well. And they all feel very at home. We got a different voice for Eeyore. Bud Lucky playing Eeyore in this one. But I actually thought Eeyore was fine. Eeyore, Kanga and Roo, they're all good. They're all fine. No Gopher in this one, though, which was a Disney original creation, wasn't he, for that original film?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the first time I ever saw Gopher, where he came from. Like, I think it was a TV show.
No, he was in the original film.
No, but on about like the first time I saw him in my life is what I'm saying.
Oh, right, okay. I can't help you with that.
Yeah, I feel like it was the TV show, but you get a lot of them in that. Like, I don't know. I feel like was the Heffalump in the TV show as well? I don't know, but I feel like you got a lot of them in that. And to me, Winnie the Pooh was never a movie. It was always just a string of shorts. Because I grew up with the TV show first. So that's what Winnie the Pooh was to me. These movies just feel like an extra long episode. Especially this, though. This does feel like just a long episode.
Yeah, it doesn't really earn that feature film title.
But it fucking tries with like Pooh and his dancing in the honey pot and the big weird musical number, and it's weird where he looks like a showgirl coming out of a pot. That was a little bit weird.
It was, but the animation in that is absolutely stellar. Like the colors in that, it's so vibrant.
I would agree, yes, but I don't know. It was a bit odd.
He just really likes honey.
He does, and I really like.
He's like a heroin addict for it in this, though, isn't he? He's like, I mean, we all know that he loves honey, but he obsesses over it in this.
Yeah, it makes like. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, but it was a weird one because I didn't dislike it. I did like it. So of course I didn't dislike it. I liked it, but at the same time, there was a lot that I was like, did we need as much 3D animation in this as we got? It was very sort of like a whole. It looked like a TV show that you've suddenly got a movie budget to do a longer version. That's what it was like.
Yeah, and
it wasn't fully out of place, but sometimes it just felt a bit like, but this is not what Winnie the Pooh's supposed to be. But the good bits were great. It's just it had a lot of those moments where I did think, you know what? I feel like Winnie the Pooh's meant for the small screen, not this big fucking fiasco. That's the right word.
Yeah, this is just, it's sort of like another sort of like fun romp through the 100 Acre Wood, really, isn't it? I mean, the original film is that too, but it feels like there's a little bit more charm, a little bit more heart and subtlety, dare I say, in the original
that's the word, subtlety.
Like the ending is very poignant in that first Winnie the Pooh movie, where you've got Pooh and Christopher Robin playing Pooh sticks and sort of going on a walk together, and it's Christopher Robin saying that, you know, I'm about to go to school and he's getting older. It's kind of like the Toy Story thing, I suppose, and you're always going to have that childhood innocence, and that is what Winnie the Pooh encapsulates as a character, and he's always going to be there for
up, and he goes to college and
turns into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, but on his way to college, when he walks off, he's kidnapped by Winnie the Pooh, and Winnie the Pooh puts him in the 100 Acre Wood and guts him and leaves his shell there. And every time a Christopher Robin goes up, there's an old Christopher Robin left under a tree, and he's now got thousands of gutted bodies of dead children that he goes back and talks to.
Damn. Are they doing a third one of those, by the way?
What, Blood and Honey? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course they are. Yeah. Have you seen the steamboat Mickey thing. It looks terrible. It looks like a
I
Chuck E.
have.
Cheese thing.
But what I'm excited for is the crossover. We're going to have Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, Cinderella, just all of them together.
And these are done on a budget of like £5, so they're just going to keep cranking them out, aren't they?
It's going to be great.
As every year goes by, they're going to unlock a new character. It's like playing a video game. It's like all the what do they call it? Not the licensing, public domain, isn't it? Is it that?
Yep.
Like that's going to be wide open. Like go nuts for it. We've got Bambi one.
Great.
Bambi one's coming out.
Bambi one is out. Bambi
one
is
came
out last month.
Shit. I missed that completely. Yeah,
I forgot about that. You've reminded me. I can watch that now.
But nothing will be as terrifying as the upcoming live-action Snow White remake because that shit's horrifying.
Oh yeah, that's we basically get a Latino Snow. Oh, is she Latino?
Something like that.
She's not white. We get a non-white Snow White, which makes sense.
Yes, the fairest of them all. Apparently. Kurt the Gamer says, I was skeptical when this film first released, but I caught a TV airing a few years later and I thought it was cute. Yeah, and that's honestly pretty much my review on it. I think the thing that kind of dampens this film for me is just how fucking short it is. It feels like you're just right at that point where you're getting into it and it's all going well, and it didn't even need to be like outrageously longer. Like I don't particularly need like a 90-minute or 100-minute Winnie the Pooh thing. I really don't need that, and maybe the story isn't there to carry that through. But initially this was meant to adapt 5 stories of A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh, and the final cut got it whittled down to 3. And it's like, I don't know if it was a case of that the producers didn't really have much investment in it. Maybe they were trying to move away from traditional animation, and maybe it was on the way out and they just didn't have much faith in it. So
I just had a thought. Do you know who Gopher reminds me of? Like Gopher's voice,
Lady and the Tramp.
The old man pedophile in Family Guy.
Oh, Herbert.
They both whistle when they talk.
Yeah, Shani. Yeah. I can't do it. I wish I could.
I can't unhear that now.
I need to get the London look, don't I, and get like a massive fucking gap in my teeth, and then maybe I'll be able to do it.
It'll work.
Got a whole fridge full of popsicles.
But I think that the thing that lets this movie, it doesn't let it down, but it does let it down, was the 3D animation. I think because
which bit in particular? Wait, when you say the 3D animation, which bit in particular are you thinking?
Just like because when there's also like obviously the honey thing I spoke about, but there's also another bit where like the honeypot comes, like it's near the end, and they kind of like deliver the big honeypot to Pooh at the end, and it's like this big 3D animation
camera motion
thing. Yeah, and then you have the honey, and it doesn't let it down, but it lets it down because it feels again like a whole but you've got a weird like long episode on a high budget. That's what it feels like. It feels kind of out of place in a way. Like Winnie the Pooh shouldn't have that. Yeah,
it's like we're doing Winnie the Pooh again, but we're in 2011 now, and look at what we can do with the animation now.
Yeah, it's like Winnie the Pooh has a certain charm to it, which this doesn't fully. It captures it like it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's bad at all. But it's just points where I think, but Winnie the Pooh wasn't always like that.
Yeah,
it felt a bit too modernized sometimes.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And whenever you get a animated series from, well, even going back to our childhood, like the 90s, or if you look at like an 80s cartoon, I always keep saying like the detailing in the drawings and the shading and everything, and you compare that to sort of like a modern day representation. Take Animaniacs, for example. You watch the original show or Batman the Animated Series, it looks fucking flawless, like the detail in that animation. And then you compare that to like the up-to-date Animaniacs, and yeah, it's cool, and they're capturing the essence of the character in a way, but just the look of it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have that same quality to it, and that same, I can't describe it, that same texture, like the film grain to it, or the detailing, or I totally get what you mean. It looks very clean, it looks very polished, and this is digital inking in this one. In the original one, it would have been hand inked. Yeah.
It's like when you sleep with a hooker. Bit different. Not
sure.
Not always a bad experience, but a bit different, Not really what you want, not as homely as you'd expect.
Yeah. Not thoroughly unpleasant, but just different.
Yeah. You just wanted a different experience. You're like, do you know what? It got me through for the last 5 minutes or an hour or whatever. But, and then you're like, let's not do that again. But
then we always do.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that, and I think, but to be fair, like Winnie the Pooh, it's not one I wouldn't come back to. It's really, really not. It's
a very easy watch, isn't it? Yeah, 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's just the last one was better. I was there the whole time comparing it, thinking, well, obviously, I think anyone watching it would. But like, what's better, this or the original? And there was a lot of times I thought, do you know what I like? Do you know what I prefer about this one? That's what I kept thinking to myself. Like, do you know what? I actually prefer this about this one. This one does this. And then the musical numbers, I was like, do you know what? This is really cool. And it feels, in some ways, more fun-loving. But then I was like, yeah, but it just doesn't feel like Winnie the Pooh sometimes. And it was a bit...
We have is it Zoe Deschanel? Is that who does the music? Well, she sings the fucking
I knew
song.
it was her. I knew it. I thought so. And then I didn't Google it.
Just fucking whispers like, "Is Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh." I'm like, this isn't. No,
I like her. I like her. She is a good human.
She is a very nice lady, but her singing voice, in my opinion, leaves much to be desired. It's very like,
she was cool.
It's like very breathy and just like, what do we do? Like, again, the modernization of these songs, and I didn't care for that particular rendition.
But she was good in Elf. Her singing voice was good in Elf.
I think I've seen her in 500 Days of Summer. I don't know if I've seen her in much else.
You've not seen Elf though.
I haven't seen Elf, no.
I don't know.
And I can already predict everyone in the comments is just going to be like typing in block capitals right now. Oh my god, Chris, you haven't seen Elf.
I don't know how you haven't seen Elf.
I've seen bits of Elf. It's not like I haven't seen a single frame of Elf. I've seen bits, but I've just never watched it beginning to end.
Well, you should, because it's good, and I watch it every Christmas.
Yeah, but there's a major Christmas film that you haven't seen. You haven't seen... Have you seen Muppets Christmas Carol?
Once, a long time ago. I didn't care for it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And that's a much better Christmas movie than Elf. And I haven't even seen Elf, but I can make that statement.
And for ages, when I was a kid, I thought that Scrooge was named after Scrooge McDuck.
Was it?
As a kid, I was like, oh, it's like Scrooge McDuck. And then I saw when Scrooge McDuck played Scrooge, and I was like, oh, that's why they did it. And then I was like, oh, that came many, many years before. And I was like, why did they call him Scrooge McDuck? And then my head got really confused.
Oh dear. Kurt the Gamer says the original movie compilation of shorts is better too. Yep, I will not disagree with you at all on that. It did remind me of the Kingdom Hearts levels though, where you get all the pages for the book.
It was more like that really, really did. Going through the letters, and that was cool. And like I say, I don't think any of the, I say downfalls because they're not downfalls, but anything that I think hinders the movie a bit is not a negative. Like the animation, I don't think that's a negative. I just think it's very like, it's not as Winnie the Pooh as I'd expect.
Mm-hmm. Bath Time says, I was assuming this black pudding and milk chat was some gateway to a surprise review of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You could actually review that because you a couple of weeks ago you watched 1 and 2, didn't you? I still haven't seen those.
You know what? I could, and the first one was terrible, but the second one was actually all right.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a complete redesign in the second one, which I was a bit like, why would you? I hate when things do that, when they have a redesign. You're like, you've stuck to this with the series, you've got to keep going. But it was good. And Winnie the Pooh actually says his famous line. He actually says, "Oh bother!" And I was like, they did it. I was like, they've just made the greatest thing ever. And then he gets smacked in the head with an axe.
Bath Time says, Nosferatu may be a potential sequel.
What does Nosferatu mean?
Doesn't
it mean Dracula in German or something?
It could be. What does Nosferatu mean? It's a very good question. It's vampire.
Yeah. German.
Romanian. Yeah, that was my terrible Romanian accent, but that's how he talks in the movie. So, with his giant moustache, he looks like the was it the biker in The Village People who had like the giant handlebar moustache? Yeah.
What a time that was! I mean, Freddie Mercury should have been in The Village People, shouldn't he?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Kurt the Gamer says Many Adventures, Grand Adventure. No, Grand Adventure was straight to video. I think I had that on video.
Heffalump, that was good.
So yeah, Many Adventures was theatrical. Tigger movie was theatrical. Piglet's Big Movie. And then it's either Springtime with Rue or it's Heffalump. I had a feeling it was Heffalump was the theatrical one because I remember the posters for that. It was like the purple Heffalump, wasn't it?
Yep.
He looked like Tantor from Tarzan.
Yep, Heffalum's cool. I like Heffalump.
And Kurt the Gamer says Grand Adventure is the best of the sequels in my opinion. As I say, I did have that. I watched it a handful of times, but I can't. Is it where? I think that's the one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kurt. Is that the one where Christopher Robin goes to school and Owl fucks up the translation and thinks it's Skull, and he thinks he's gone to like this big like evil rock or something called Skull. Skull. It's like Norwegian or some shit.
Yep.
Oh shit! Bath Time says, "Is there any truth that Winnie the Pooh is about mental illness, Tigger being ADHD?"
I don't know. I wonder if it's just a thing where like people have just said, "Oh, this can represent this," because I don't know, but I feel like. Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Eeyore definitely, right?
Eeyore definitely, and the whole sad friend and making him included, but like the whole Tigger having ADHD, it's like I don't know if that's a thing. I think it's just, oh, it all represents this. It's like, what is it? The Seven Dwarfs represent like the stages of drug taking or something.
Shit.
Have you not heard about that?
No, I haven't.
I can't remember what it is, but there's a theory of like, because you become grumpy, it makes you sleepy, and like there's an order, and then you need a doctor at the end. It's something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I do think it's just a wild kind of someone going, oh, but this is a thing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just reading some of the comments here. Brinsley says, well, Anita says, I'm not a big fan of Frozen. And Brinsley says, I still haven't seen Frozen. So
I am. I like Frozen.
You do. That was probably our biggest debate, wasn't it? Frozen's out of all these reviews that we've done. We've actually been pretty on the money with most of these, I think, in terms of our reviews.
There's been a few times.
Yeah. We both agree on Frozen 2, I think.
Frozen 2 we kind of agreed on. It was like, it was a bit pointless.
What were our biggest disagreements? There was, I think Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frozen. Was there any others?
Hunchback of Notre Dame just isn't the masterpiece you think it is.
No, it really, really fucking is.
There was Dinosaur was... we kind of agreed it was, but I thought it was just... Nah.
You're going to upset Anita in the comments.
Well, do you know what? She doesn't like Frozen, so fuck her.
Oh, shit. He doesn't mean it. He grows on you, Anita. You just need to get used to it.
I'm like his humour.
Kurt says, it's faithful to the tone of the books too. Sure, they ain't British, but the 100 Acre Wood is a fictional world anywhere where characters wouldn't necessarily follow accent rules. Oh, shit. Bath Time says, I met someone the other day that had never seen the original Star Wars. I feel like that's something that even if you haven't seen those films, you kind of just know everything about it. You know the Darth Vader reveal, you know the iconography from it. But maybe not so much now. Maybe if... Star Wars is kind of like
you said that about Planet of the Apes, and I didn't know the end of that.
But no, when you said it got to it, though, you mentioned that you have seen it parodied, right? Or did you not say that? I can't remember.
Yeah, I said I'd probably seen it parodied, but that's not why I figured it out. I just figured it out because I was like, I bet this. The thing is, I'm late 20s. We're gonna stay there. I'm late 20s, and I have read enough books and watched enough movies to kind of figure out where they're going with it. But I think as a kid, or even just like a teenager, it would have been quite. I mean, it was it was a cool twist. I liked it, but I didn't have the recollection of it in the sense of I just knew what was happening. So maybe Star Wars is the same for some people. Imagine growing up in a world where you didn't know that and it was a big shock.
Well, I mean, some people still do watch it every now and then. I mean, these reaction videos on YouTube, half of them are probably fake anyway. And they're just doing it for the clicks and whatnot. But every now and then, it seems like you actually see like a genuine reaction. It's like, oh, that's cool. Because I never had that. I never had like the cool, shocking reveal. It was spoiled to me by my dad. So I watched Phantom Menace first, and then it got to the ending. And when they say, but which one was destroyed, the master or the apprentice? And the camera pans over to Palpatine at the funeral pyre at the very end of Phantom Menace. And my mom and dad were like, oh, that's the Emperor, that is. So I was like, oh, thanks. And then I think I had toys I think I had like a stamp collection. It was like the little plastic figure with like a little ink pad underneath, and like it had like faces of the character when you stamped it. And there was a Luke Skywalker and there was a Darth Vader in the set. And my mum and dad were like, "Oh, so him, that Darth Vader, he's his dad. He is." So I just grew up always knowing that before.
I just grew up always knowing it because episode 1 was like 99, so when I could start to form brain cells, and it was like Anakin was Darth Vader, and I knew that because then it was that kind of thing, and it was like, well, so it's his father. It was like, so it was kind of growing up in that post original trilogy era.
Mm-hmm. Anita says, "What if the Disney's Carnotaurus talked like Smaug from the Hobbit trilogy? That'd be cool." We mentioned that in last week, didn't we? That it's weird that all the Predator dinosaurs in that film don't talk, that they remain as dinosaurs, but all the good guys talk. I guess it humanizes them a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what we said, isn't it? It humanizes them, it makes the others scarier. Yeah. But it just was a boring movie.
Just calling Aladar like Barrel Rider or something, that'd be fun. Oh, you haven't got to that part in the book yet. You are reading The Hobbit at the moment, and you're doing a sterling job of it so far. You're on chapter 3 at the moment. On chapter 3.
Like I do with everything.
I think you're chilling in Rivendell at the moment.
Yeah, because it's a nice place to chill.
Yeah. Let's see. I think, are we all caught up with comment? Oh no, we've got loads more. Last time I saw Winnie was in Kingdom Hearts 3, Brinsley says. I still haven't played that game.
So what? It's so weird because he's in Kingdom Hearts 3, but it feels so pointless. There's no collecting of pages. It's just like, go into a book, you play some mini games, and then it's like, oh, you're done. You're like, why did we do that? It does feel very like, okay, but we could have done something else. We've done this before. It was a bit odd.
Mm-hmm. Keep your comments coming in, guys. I'm just going to we're going to chat a little bit more about the film, but keep them coming in, and we'll read them all before we finish today. I'm kind of bewildered how this project even came about for Disney, because it feels like such a random choice to go back to. So if you go in with the US list at this point, the previous traditional animated film that they did was Princess and the Frog, which came out in 2009. You had Tangled a year later in 2010, and then they follow it up with this one. And as I say, this has kind of set the stage now. This is the last one so far that has been done in traditional hand-drawn animation. And I actually really appreciate them for sticking to their guns in terms of the animation, because I think it probably was up for debate whether they were going to use CGI for this. And I've seen, you know, they do like Disney Channel, like little kid, like Mickey Mouse shit sometimes. Have you seen those sort of like more modern ones where they're in like, it's kind of like a House of Mouse thing, but they're all CGI now, and just seeing Mickey as CGI or like Pluto or anything, it just looks wrong. Like, I'm not counting bless you, I'm not counting like Kingdom Hearts, because obviously that's a PlayStation game, and of course they're going to look like that, but I don't know, some characters just need to remain hand drawn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I don't remember what it was called, but I can see it. But yeah, Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse, that was it.
Yes. Yeah.
That was House of Mouse was brilliant though.
Oh, I love that. I had the Halloween one on video where all the villains stage a coup and take over, and then they sing.
Chernabog sat at a table
with Maleficent. Yeah, match made in heaven.
It's great. The House of Mouse was brilliant.
So yeah, this was the director. It was regarding the decision to still use hand-drawn animation as opposed to the ever-growing CGI animation of the time. And Anderson apparently said, quote, "If this were a fully CG animated picture and rendered and lit Pooh, it just wouldn't feel right. We would be doing the characters a real disservice." And it's so refreshing to hear a director say that, and I completely agree. Because if you do it hand-drawn, it feels like, as I mentioned with the original, those illustrations from the book coming to life. And I think you would, there might be some computer assisted camera angles in this, as you mentioned, some of the stuff that feels a lot more modern. You have the digital inking and everything looks a lot cleaner. Well, I mean, of course it would. When did that original one come out? Was it the
77?
77, thank you. So yeah, a lot will have changed with animation, but I mean, I still like that original look. I like the unrefined look. I like the film grain. I like the, you know, the hand inked stuff or the Xeroxed or whatever it was.
Yeah, imagine Sword in the Stone today.
Yeah,
That
well,
wouldn't
yeah,
work.
because it was with 101 Dalmatians, wasn't it, where they moved to Xerox because Sleeping Beauty was so expensive, and I mean that film does look fucking phenomenal. But then they were going for like the cheaper route, and that's when you kind of get like the sketchy kind of era that I call it, where all the edges look really
Yeah.
unrefined and rough. But I actually kind of like that era too. I remember when we did our 101 Dalmatians review, and I was actually really hard on that film, but I think that was just purely because we were watching them in sequence, and it was a massive shift in terms of visuals. But I think that sort of sketchy look like helped that original Winnie the Pooh film even more so, because it wasn't just that it was hand drawn, but it felt like those pencil sketched
Yeah.
illustrations. Yeah. So definitely the right call, 100% the right call. And they used a lot of the same software that was utilized in Princess and the Frog as well, for the digital inking and the paintings of the drawings as well. It's very difficult to kind of say anything about our favorite segment of this one because it's
My
not really like the
favorite.
original.
I have
But
a favorite shot though,
okay.
where Winnie the Pooh is wearing an oven glove on his head.
Oh yeah, like a hoodie pot lid.
Yeah, he looks like a knight, and that's my favorite shot. I thought that was cool. That was funny.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite shot now. You kind of put me on the spot. I get the Winnie the Pooh, the showgirl kind of thing, where he's in the honey is a little bit strange, but I think that is the most visually striking part of the film for me, for better or worse. But like the colors, it just looks so vibrant.
Yeah, but it's also like, what's the thing with the flamingos?
Oh, from Fantasia 2000.
No, there's a movie it's got flamingos and water, and they spraying everywhere.
No idea.
Oh, it's like a Las Vegas kind of. Maybe it's just a, I don't know. But there's flamingos and there's water and it shoots out. I don't know. Maybe
I can't help you with that. I'm afraid.
maybe it's
I have
just
no
a Las
idea.
Vegas thing. I don't know. But it reminds me of that, like you say, a showgirl kind of thing, which to me was a bit like, yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
I mean, what segments do you have in this? You have Eeyore losing his tail's kind of the biggest one, and you have the
Tigger dressed as the
Baxen.
That's it, Baxen.
Did you watch the
Backlash?
Did you watch the post-credit scene with this film?
Yeah, with the Baxen, and he goes and he falls into the hole.
He's actually a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's nice.
I actually quite liked that zany animation, and I guess that's this film's equivalent of the Heffalumps and Woozles song from the first film, how it goes all very pink elephants and psychedelic and strange and kind of creepy. And there is that almost chalkboard art style that it segues into.
Yes, it does. That was cool. I did like that.
And there are some fun sight gags with this one as well. We mentioned how the characters interact with the actual physical text that's on the page. And it's where they're all in the pit and they're trying to climb out, and Winnie the Pooh stacks the letters in such a way so they can climb out. But when they're in there, they're like playing with the letters, and I think it's almost like a ping pong board. What do you call it, with like the little paddle with the ball? Yeah, and he's got like a letter I or something, and he's like bouncing the dot on the I, and then someone's got like a Q, and they're just like twanging the bottom part of like the cube. Stuff like that where they're actually fourth wall breaking. I thought was really fun. I enjoyed that. What did you think to the songs in this one? Did you think there were too many? Do you think there were just the right amount?
No, I think that's the right amount. I liked them. But they did blur into one in the end.
They're not as quite as kitschy, are they, as the first movie?
No, at first I was like, okay, I quite like this. I like the vibe of it. And then after like 3 songs, I was like, it just sounds like the same song. Yeah, like it just felt that's the only thing about them. But I don't think that's as again. It's not like the biggest negative, because it's like I like the songs that they were. It was just quite again.
Yeah, well, it's the same. It's the same two who did the music to the Frozen films as well. Did they do the music to? No. That was Lin-Manuel Miranda, wasn't it? No, Frozen 2, Coco, and this Winnie the Pooh movie. They've done. It's Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez. They did the music for it. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that can be said about the songs. There's a lot of deleted scenes from this film. Apparently there was going to be a whole segment where we see Rabbit's family. That was removed. I get a feeling that a lot was removed from this film, and I don't know whether they had 5 segments ready to go or whether those segments were kind of removed. Because I think this film just needed maybe like an extra, like 20 minutes, maybe. Just take it to like a 70-minute kind of mark, sort of in the same ballpark as the original film.
The thing is, when you have movies, you've got to think of like what are we going to do that can't be done in a TV episode, and all of this could be done on a TV episode. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Bar the magical songs with 3D and all that kind of stuff, which again still could have been done, but just as lower budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's the only thing.
I did used to watch one of the TV shows back in the day. It was I had a video. I think it had like a couple of episodes on there, and it was like Private Investigator Tigger or something. And it was the one that has like Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear as the theme song.
Yeah,
it was that TV show. We probably mentioned that when we did the other Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah, I can't remember which it's called, but yes, I know what you mean.
So I had a video, and it had about 1 or 2 episodes of that show on there. And I remember a lot of the VHSs that I had an advert for that Winnie the Pooh TV show at the time. But I didn't have the Disney Channel, so a lot of these Disney series I'm aware were a thing, but I never actually watched, like the Hercules TV show. I never watched that. The Aladdin TV show, never watched that either. So a lot of these shows kind of passed me by and only sort of like picked up drips and drabs of them, really.
Yeah. I mean, no, I like I say, Winnie the Pooh to me has always been a TV show. It's never really been a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't feel like a movie to me.
Well, I think because they're short segments, aren't they? Even like the original film was a compilation of
That's
shorts.
why this to me doesn't feel like, it just doesn't feel like a movie. But it also doesn't feel, it's weird. But yeah, like, because the thing is, it's short segments, and it's I mean, Winnie the Pooh is primarily aimed at a bit of a younger audience. Mm-hmm. So it's that, again, short segments of like, you wouldn't have a feature length aimed at a young audience. You would have that, the shorter segments, that sort of stuff. And it kind of delivers that well. But yeah, it's just odd to see in this scope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such a strange feeling when you watch this film, because it is over in a heartbeat. And I do think that if they'd have stuck to the plan of the original 5 shorts, I actually can't remember how many shorts were made up the original film. It must have been, maybe it was 5 in that original film, I don't know, but I think they needed to try and break even with this, because it feels, when you watch Saludos Amigos, and actually I don't, that doesn't count as a feature film. It's not called a feature film, is it? But it's like 42 minutes long, and you just watch it and you're like, oh, well, I guess that's in the Disney canon line then. This kind of felt like that, where it was over and done before I even knew it. And I think it's a shame, because I think had they invested a little bit more into it, I think maybe this could earn the just in terms of people like remembering it, like the legacy of some of those other ones. Like, I remember the Tigger movie way more than I'll ever remember this one. And I just think that has more staying power. There's more plot behind it maybe as well. And it just feels a little bit more fleshed out. Yeah, Kurt the Gamer says, you should check out the Tigger movie or Grand Adventure. They feel like actual films. Yeah, both of those feel much more like a complete film than this one. And, like doing like another sort of like compilation movie like that original one, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It does feel very much like we're kind of going back to the well and, well, let's just copy what that film did and let's do it again in a way. But I don't really feel like you can break the mold with Winnie the Pooh all that much. And I don't think you should. I think that's the whole essence of Winnie the Pooh, is that it needs to remain constant, because that's what it symbolizes. It's that childhood innocence of, Christopher Robin's adventures. And you don't want to be modernizing that. You don't want to be completely changing what it is and what it stands for. I do think, though, that, and this is testament to that original film and perpetuated by all the TV shows and all the other films that they've done, is that when you think of Winnie the Pooh, you automatically go to the depiction of the Disney-fied versions of those characters. It's not like, we go back to the book. It's like when you think of Eeyore, you think of how Eeyore looks in these Disney ones, right? And even Winnie the Pooh, like the red sort of T-shirt that he's in thing, that was an original creation, wasn't it, for for these films, I think.
That's trademarked by Disney. So that's one of the things they couldn't have in Blood and Honey, him wearing a red t-shirt.
Oh, right, okay.
They had him in like a lumberjack outfit and had it red, but they couldn't just have him as a bear in a red t-shirt because that was owned by Disney.
Oh, shit, okay.
So yeah, there's certain things.
JD Seaman says, if you guys have seen Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin, at least that one felt more like a movie because of its shockingly Tolkien-esque plot line. Yeah, I think... Are there loads of different names for this one then? Because there's The Grand Adventure, which I remember having, but this is Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. I'm assuming that's the same movie. Maybe it's just a different title for it in different regions. But yeah, I think that is the one where Christopher Robin goes off to Skull, and they find like a map, and they have to try and find him, and they find themselves in like loads of dangers and whatnot. I remember it being pretty cute, actually. I remember it being quite having like a nice meaning behind it, but I don't think I watched it enough to have like a good like foundational memory of it. I only remember bits and pieces of it, whereas the original Winnie the Pooh film I watched absolutely loads. Absolutely loved that movie. So maybe that's a one that I can go back to at some point. Anita says, can we talk about Disney's Dinosaur 2000 last week? We did talk about it last week. Not now.
Boring.
We're on Winnie the Pooh.
Boring movie.
Bath Time says, I think A.A. Milne also fought in the First World War. Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Didn't Tolkien as well?
Yes, yeah, he was in I think he was in the Somme, actually. Yeah, one of the most horrific battles.
He wrote Lord of the Rings in the trench.
Well, he was writing his older mythology in the trench that would later go on to be brought into the Lord of the Rings. But yeah, the Book of Lost Tales and his old mythologies, and Melko that would become Melkor, and yeah, the Ainur. He was writing about it all.
And then there was A.A. Milne writing about bears.
Yeah, yeah. But still very, very important stories nonetheless, both of them. Let's see. A lot of people saying they're avoiding, refusing to watch Blood and Honey, which is fun.
Why? Why would you refuse?
A lot of people are talking about Blood and Honey. This is.
Why would you refuse to watch Blood and Honey? It's a masterpiece.
Oh, Bath Time said, this was from a bit back ago. This was from like 30 minutes ago. Bath Time says, right, got to go, lads. Enjoy your stream. Thanks for tuning in, Bath Time. We'll have another catch up. I haven't thought about the possible collaboration as well. I'll think of what we can do for that soon.
Is Bath Time's name Jason?
What, sorry? What?
Is Bath Time's name Jason?
I don't know. Why?
Don't know.
We just guessing.
Yeah.
Brisley says Dale always has at least one mad statement per video. Yeah,
wait,
at least one.
What was my mad statement?
Was it about hookers from earlier?
I feel like I've said more than one.
Yeah, probably.
Or was it just Blood and Honey's a masterpiece?
Well, it could be that too. That also could be a mad statement. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Kurt the Gamer says Muppets Christmas Carol is the best Christmas Carol adaptation, and I say that as someone that reads the book every year. Thank you. I completely agree. 100% agree.
It's all right. It was okay. I've seen better.
No, you haven't. You haven't.
I've seen better versions.
It's just like Muppets Treasure Island is the best depiction of.
I've not seen that though.
Although Treasure Planet's pretty good too, but no, I've got to give it to Muppets Treasure Island. I remember being in. This is how nerdy I was as a child, right? I was in the fucking book club at the library. There was absolutely no hope for me, and we did a book quiz every year, and we had to actually read the books to then be asked questions on it. One of these books was Treasure Island. Now, I struggle with a lot of classic literature. I used to be a good reader, but I really struggled with how Treasure Island was written. I'd already seen Muppets Treasure Island loads before that point, and probably Treasure Planet as well. And all of the questions, because we did like demo questions before the big event quiz thing that we went to, and I got every single question right. I never read the whole book. I think I started on the first 2 chapters and it didn't grip me. All of my knowledge came from Muppets Treasure Island. It was like, what is the name of the ship? I was like, Hispaniola. Again, Muppets Treasure Island. It's fucking great. So, yeah. It's a great depiction as far as I'm concerned.
You would have struggled with Shakespeare.
I actually really like Shakespeare. Got a complete collection of his shit. I love me some Shakespeare.
I struggled.
Brinsley says y'all should review Planet of the Apes because Dale hasn't seen them. That could be a potential retrospective.
It's weird because I again, I've seen the first. I've watched part of the second. It wasn't that good. I stopped watching because I got bored, and I definitely have no desire to see the remakes. So never.
No, the remakes are fantastic. At least the first three. I haven't seen the fourth one yet.
Fucking monkeys with guns or shit, and I'm like, why?
No, dude, it's good. No, it is good.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is. It is very, very good.
Is it though?
Yes.
If I wanted to see a load of monkeys run around with guns, I'd just watch Django.
Good night, everybody.
Moving on.
Fuck. I knew that was going to go in some kind of direction like that. I thought, oh god, I'm going to have to pull the stream.
That was a good movie, though.
Well, I've already been cancelled, so yeah, welcome to the club. It's fine. We're all cancelled here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wow, we've got fucking shit tons of comments coming in. This is great, though. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming in.
It's like more than ever.
Oh, hang on. We have Hobbit stuff here to talk about. Hang on, I've missed comments here. Let me scroll. Here we go. So Brinsley says, I recently picked up the illustrated editions of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. They're on my list to buy. I do want to pick them up 100%, but I do have this. It's currently, in fact, I can grab it right now, actually. You'll sit tight. Oh. I was gonna do an unboxing video of this, but I thought, well, there's no point because there's loads of better ones on YouTube. But yeah, I treated myself for my birthday, and it's still in the cellophane. I haven't removed it yet. This is like the gift edition of the facsimile edition. So I do really want to read this at some point because I've seen an unboxing video. It looks really nice inside, sort of designed after the original first edition of The Hobbit, which is really nice. Yeah. And you've got that different Riddles in the Dark chapter as well, how it was originally written, which I've never read in its entirety before. So we're excited to see how that's different. Is there anything else we can say about the 2011 Winnie the Pooh movie? Shit, I guess we could go into like final thoughts on favorite song, or you kind of mentioned favorite.
They all blur though. That's the thing. It's quite hard.
Yeah. Let me bring up the soundtrack. Actually, let me remind myself of some of the songs from this thing. Well, that's a carryover from the original, isn't it? So
yeah.
It feels a bit of
a
cop out if I
isn't
say
that great.
No, exactly. Here we go. So the songs that we had in this one, there's the tummy song, A Very Important Thing to Do, the Baxon song. It'd probably be that one for me. That's
that one was all right. Yeah.
Oh, there's it's gonna be great, which was Tigger's one when he's training Eeyore to be like Tigger 2. There's Everything Is Honey, and that's pretty much it. Then you got like the Zoe Deschanel end credits song, but I guess for me it would be the Baxon. The Baxon will be.
Yeah, that one has more of a difference to it. And
the ending joke of that song genuinely made me laugh out loud, which I don't have many of in this one. I kind of smiled and chuckled at some things, but when they're walking out, it's like, and we'll all be back soon. And I was like, back soon? That kind of sounds like Baxon.
Yeah, that was cool. It was not the thing about this movie. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, it's still just as wholesome. As I say, it's really difficult to mess up Winnie the Pooh. All the the designs of the characters are pretty consistent. They're definitely updated and digital. As I mentioned, I don't like the updated version of Christopher Robin. I think he just looks really weird with those like really wide Disney eyes. Works for some characters and not for others.
I never cared for Christopher Robin that much.
I was named after Christopher Robin, apparently. My mum really liked Winnie the Pooh and liked the name Christopher. And she was like, he should be
It's a good thing you weren't named after Eeyore. That would have been interesting.
Is it just me? Eeyore is like the most depressed I've ever seen him in this film. Like more so than I know he's always like that. but in this one, he was saying things that made me genuinely worried for him. Am I going to have to like call the cops to take like a wellness check on Eeyore?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do love Eeyore though, and I love how supportive they all are of him as well. Like he is the depressive one. He is a sad boy, but they're always there for him no matter what, and I think that's really sweet.
Yeah, but if he was over 30 and we were like, you'd be like, get a grip, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Eeyore, man the fuck up. What are you doing?
How times change.
Yeah. I probably asked you this on the first one that we did, but it's been a long time since we did that one. Who is your favorite? Okay, there you go. Yeah, same.
Because he's just
and I think the makers of this film knew that as well, that Tigger's a lot of people's favorite, because I feel like he's the last one to properly be introduced. Like you're waiting for him, and like you've got all the characters there, and it's like, where's Tigger? Where's my boy? And there's like the big reveal where he pounces out of the bushes. Yeah.
Tigger. People like Piglet as well, don't they?
I always hated Piglet. Still can't stand
everyone
Piglet.
Loves Piglet, but
I don't. I really don't.
Nah, Tigger. He bounces.
There's some jokes in this that didn't really land for me, and I felt kind of dragged on a little bit. The whole thing with the balloon during Tigger's introduction, where it was stuck to him and he was fighting the balloon.
Yeah, and it reminded me of the whole like in Christopher Robin, where he's like, "Can I have a travel balloon?" Like, you don't need one. Yes, but I would like one very much. That was great.
I mean, it's always great hearing Jim Cummings as these characters as well, and he does such a great job. A really, really good sort of updated voice from what the original was. It doesn't sound out of place at all. Yeah. I think the one that sounds the most out of place for me, as I mentioned, was Rabbit. I always used to like Rabbit as a character. For some reason, I don't know why, I always thought Rabbit was a female character in that original film. I always did. And then,
I always did as well.
Yeah. As like the mannerisms as well felt very feminine, kind of like hustling and bustling like round the house. Even the voice sounded quite feminine to me. I think that's just why I always thought it was. And then I was really surprised to find out that it wasn't. So this one, there's no like and ifs or buts about it. It's like it's a guy's voice. It just felt weird. That might be my connection to sort of like the original character there.
Yeah.
But this is a fine film. It is kind of bittersweet knowing that this is the last traditional animated one so far. Hopefully Disney sort themselves out and you have like a visionary director or producer who says let's go back to what really made this company special. Be nice if they do that, but I know it's probably not a lucrative thing to do now. It's a lot more time consuming. It's a lot more expensive to do that now, ironically, than the CGI animated stuff. So it's fine. It's do you think it earns the title of Disney classic?
No, because we've already had one. It was one of those, and I still am a firm believer no sequel should be a Disney classic.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good Rescuers Down Under is, no sequel should be a Disney classic.
I think this film could have had a lot more staying power had it have had a couple more segments, and it's just nice being in the 100-acre wood and being immersed in this world. And as I said, you just get to the point where you're starting to get into it. Like, yeah, I'm kind of relaxed into this movie, and before you know it, it's the book closes, the end, and the credits are rolling, and you're like, oh, what? Okay. I would have liked a little bit more, and maybe I mentioned that ending scene from the original where it kind of ties everything together with a nice little bow, and
we also didn't get Pooh's stoutness exercises.
No, we didn't.
And that is a big, big thing that we missed.
Up, down, touch the ground. We did have Pooh getting like ripped open like a xenomorph at one point and his stuffing coming out, which I guess is kind of horrific, because if you think about that, that's basically Pooh's entrails just falling out of him.
But what is Winnie the Pooh? Is he a stuffed bear? I mean, he is, but like, we don't see it until it's weird, isn't it?
Well, Tubby Little Cubby all stuffed with fluff.
Yeah,
like we get told in the lyrics.
So he is, but we don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just odd.
Or when he does his stoutness exercises, does he tear a little patch in the original?
I don't think he does in the. I mean, I don't remember him doing that.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been a while since we did that one. Let's have a look. Brizzy says, now I have questions about Django.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah. No, it's a good movie.
I've seen it a few times.
I think it gets overhyped. It's not one of my favorite Tarantino ones.
It's the fact that it has two climaxes.
Yeah, it's the second, third act, which a lot of films do now, and it really annoys me. If they'd have taken the whole ending with Samuel Jackson and merged it into the first big shootout with the death of Candy, that for me felt like the ending of the film. I didn't need Tarantino's hubris thinking I'm a great actor, so I'm going to be an Australian slave trader, and you're going to have like a whole extended 10 to 15 minute segment with that to end up at the same place, to have a very similar end. Yeah, I don't know. I've got problems with Django Unchained.
But it's a good movie.
No, it's good. It's good. Right. Well, I guess that does it for our review on Winnie the Pooh. It feels weird because we kind of did our big finale on everything Disney when we did our Moana 2 review. So I think it's probably going to be a bit difficult to get back into that headspace of sort of saying goodbye to the Disney films. And we probably will do like a ranking or tier kind of video at some point. We actually haven't talked about when we do that. Maybe we could do that after we've done the best animated feature films. We could go back to some of these Disneys and rank them a little bit, because I think it'd be cool to have like a visual up on screen of us ranking all of these films. I don't know where I'd rank this one. I do think this is kind of a forgettable one. I think the short runtime really doesn't help that fact, but it's a nice little trip down memory lane. It was a nice sort of
thing is, it's cool, but it's overshadowed by the original.
Yes. Yeah. I'll completely agree with that. And some of the sequels, actually, I would say, to be honest.
I think
Anita sorry.
I mean, obviously how much we love Sammy Hagar, but I think there's a lot of people who like the David Lee Roth Van Halen that would have liked the Sammy Hagar stuff, but it was just overshone by David Lee Roth that they just didn't have that time to appreciate it in their head.
Well, I'll find out, because I'm currently working through all of the Van Halen discography at the moment. So I've finished the David Lee Roth era, and tomorrow for work when I'm driving around, I'll be starting the Sammy Hagar stuff. So I've got 5150, which is fucking great. Yeah, I've got that on vinyl, I think, actually. I think that was one of the first vinyl that I bought.
Amazing.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I got through those first 5, 6. How many albums did I listen to? I got through those pretty quick. Couple of days I got through 6 albums, so
good.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. Going to get them all listened to, and then I'm fully caught up. Although I have a sneaky suspicion that Van Halen 1's still probably going to be my favorite.
Oh, it's the greatest album ever made.
Greatest
album ever made.
It's up there. It's up there, definitely. Anita says, oh, sorry, I want to go back to this comment. What did you think of Once Upon a Studio? I saw the trailer for that. I still haven't seen it. If I can find it somewhere online, I will definitely give it a watch. So yeah, because that's where it's like an amalgamation of all the characters. I think they did it for the 100th anniversary. Oh my god, Anita, chill with the caps lock and the many exclamation points. I'm getting through them. Disney's 2000s and Winnie the Pooh 2011 deserves to be counted in the Disney Classics numbering canon instead of the Wild. Disagree about Disney. Sorry. I disagree about Dinosaur 2000 because that wasn't made by Disney Animation Studios. I do agree that Winnie the Pooh 2011 should be in the list, though. As I've said, the perfect list is remove the Wild. You follow the UK list. You add in Winnie the Pooh after Tangled, and then you're all good. So that's sort of what I'll run from now. I agree. I'm never watching The Wild ever again. But I will agree that Disney's Dinosaur 2000 is a much better movie than The Wild.
It's better. It's boring, but it's better. But then again, you have Packy pigeons in The Wild. So
yeah, that was weird. That was so weird.
That was the saving grace. I thought that was great.
I forgot about that. I quite liked the wildebeest stuff in The Wild.
You know what I want? I want a sequel to The Wild, right? Where you get the Packy pigeons meet the good feathers.
Oh, that's a crossover.
That would be great.
And can we throw the penguins of Madagascar in there as well?
That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we got that, Anita. I think I'm a big dinosaur fan. Yeah. I reading you loud and clear on that one. So we conclude our Disney retrospective. We have done 64 videos total across this whole thing. Well over a year and a bit, and I can't believe that we started all this in October 2023 was when we started Snow White. The weeks have flown by and we've done it. I'm just looking at my shelf now at the sheer amount of films and just feeling really, really fucking proud that we did this.
You know,
and mostly on schedule every week as well, which was good.
If I die now, the last thing I do will be Winnie the Pooh related.
That's kind of sweet though, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah. And it'll be like the end of Disney, and I would have completed Disney.
Yeah. So we completed it, mate. Disney.
I never got a trophy for watching every Disney classic on Disney Plus. Disney, in a row. There was no little you have done it. You have completed Disney.
I was gonna say if I could find a tier list link now, do you want to do it and share screen? But I feel like that should be a separate video because we're already an hour
that would
into
take
this one.
some time.
Yeah, we'll do a separate video on that, I think. I think we've already talked about what our favorites are anyway. But yeah, this was kind of like a nice little one to end on. As I say, these last couple of weeks have been almost like an epilogue, really. So you might be asking, what's next? You were tuning in for all the Disney things. I guess we are going to give... well, actually, no, we're not giving Disney a break, are we, really? Because the next one that we've got planned is a Disney Pixar review, particularly. We're going to be going through all of the nominated films for the Best Animation Feature category at this year's Oscars. I was going to try and cram every single film in from the Oscars this year. It ain't going to happen. And to be honest, after seeing some of the films that have been nominated for Best Picture, not naming names, there's one film in particular, I'm happy to just completely bypass the Oscars this year. But keeping it in the realm of animation, I think it'd be nice to do the 5 nominees. So we have got half a month to get through 5 films. So I think it's going to be weekly, but then we might have to move it to either 2 movie reviews in one video or 2 videos a week. We're going to have to have a discussion about that. But the 5 films that are nominated, we've got Flow, Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and Memoir of a Snail. Out of those 5, I've seen 2 of them currently, and I actually don't have a review up for any of them. So that's what me and Dale are going to be doing over the next few weeks. We're going to be going through these list of 5 movies ahead of the Oscars. And we don't really have a particular order for doing any of these in. So I
technically do.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I asked you, I said, which one are you feeling first?
We have an order that we're doing them in, but we don't have a reason for it.
I can only remember which one we're doing next week. I can't remember the order that we've said.
I can remember them only because there's a reason for putting them in said order, and it's not a reason, but it's like reasoning in the sense of that one because that is the same color and that actor smells the same as that one. It's things like that.
So we've agreed that out of those 5 movies, the one that we'll be doing next week is Inside Out 2. It's a film that I haven't seen yet. I really actually enjoyed the first one when it came out. In terms of sort of modern Pixar, I feel like that was one of the last truly great ones. So I'm really looking forward to Inside Out 2 because I've heard it advances some of the characters in some interesting ways, and I'd like to see that world again. So that's the one that we're doing next week. We have been talking about potential Pixar retrospective, and I may have actually a date for that. So stay tuned for that. We're planning well ahead. These retrospectives take time, but yeah, I feel like these Disney animated classics are one of the big ones.
If we keep planning ahead, statistically, we will die having not achieved something we said we will achieve.
Oh God, that's true. Yeah.
So if we keep planning ahead, saying we're going to do these things, at one point it's going to be like, and the thing is, we won't die at the same time. So there's going to be a point one of us is going to be like, yeah, he died.
I mean, we could be like in an accident together or something. God forbid, but we could die at the same time.
We could. We could. I mean, or you could get married, which would mean you die. So
exactly.
So yeah.
Brinsley says, I wouldn't mind the Substance review, but it's not animated. I do actually want to watch that film. If I'm going to watch any films that have been... Let me have a look at the what films have been Best Picture nominees from this year. I haven't seen a lot of them. Fucking hell. Emilia Perez. Jesus wept. I'm going to send you a clip from that afterwards. You're gonna feel my pain. There's a Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here, The Substance, Dune Part 2... Wicked, Anora, and The Brutalist. Yeah, I ain't going to get a chance to it. Usually every other year I manage to cram them all in. it ain't gonna happen this year, and I just don't know if I have the energy. That kind of diminished a little bit last year because I didn't. Usually, I do a live stream during the Academy Awards. I didn't do one last year, and I'm just kind of done with Hollywood at the moment, to be honest. So, but we'll do the animated ones. You can't go wrong with animation, right? So. And then I won't announce what we've got coming out afterwards because that will probably take us through for the next month anyway. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's joined us throughout this journey, throughout the 100 Years of Wonder, all of the Disney animated classics. We really appreciate everyone tuning in and commenting and sharing your favorite films and thoughts on all the films, as well as some other random comments along the way, as we always pick up too. Let us know your thoughts on Winnie the Pooh, though, and indeed the whole retrospective overall, some of your favorite Disney films, and
whatever happened to gold milk? Like, you know how you have the lids, like green milk, red milk, blue. Whatever happened to the gold one?
Well, like the glass bottles?
No, the one that was like just pure cream, essentially. Whatever happened to that?
Pure cream. I don't know. I'm
just confused.
I used to have the glass bottle milk. That was nice.
Yeah, what happened to that? Whatever happened to the milkman?
I don't know.
Is that still a thing? Is that still a job you can get?
There was the whole joke of, like if you've got someone who's like the village bicycle, it was like, oh, the milkman's your dad, right? Do you remember that like colloquialism?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But what happened to the milkman? They're not a thing anymore. Can you still get a job as a milkman?
As Brinsley says, never heard of gold milk ever. See, I'm thinking of some like really bougie milk. You know how you can get that vodka with like it's a Goldschlager with like the little gold strips in there?
Oh, no,
I'm imagining milk with like little like 24 karat gold chunks in it.
It had like a gold lid. And it was just like pure, like creamy milk,
like full fat. Could not be fuller.
Do you know one thing I thought of the other day? Actually, though, you could make monkey milk.
Oh, is this like Meet the Parents? Yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
Well, yeah, exactly. You could make monkey milk.
I got nipples, Greg.
Why is that not a thing? Why has no one ever made monkey milk and sold it?
I guess cow milk just stuck, didn't it? Who was the first guy to?
Yeah, but my question is, why cow milk? Humans produce their own milk. Why do we not sell human milk? Why do we primarily drink?
Some people do.
Yeah, no, but why primarily do we drink milk from a cow? And
it's a very good question.
Rather than a human. And if we drink milk from a cow, why a cow? Why not a monkey? Why not?
Well, there's goat's milk as well.
Yeah, but that's horrible.
It is, but I mean, it's another option. So goats and cows are cool. Everything else, no.
Yeah, but why? Why not? Whales are mammals, right?
Yes.
So you can have whale milk.
I don't think they suckle their young, do they?
Or what about dolphins?
Hang on. Oh, okay.
There you can have whale milk.
It says so whales lack sucking muscles, but have a method of injecting it into their calves' mouths.
See, you can have whale milk or dolphin milk.
It says the calf stimulates the nipple by putting pressure on it, and milk is then injected into its mouth. The edge of its tongue is lined with a petal-like extensions that are believed to improve suction and even serve to channel the milk towards the throat. So there you go.
I wonder if it tastes kind of fishy.
Fish milk.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like
mammal milk, mammal fish milk. There you go.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like milk, but like with a salmon flavor.
Rizzy says the milkman was caught with too many housewives. Isn't that in Psychonauts, the video game? Like, I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. Is that? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I don't know. I just feel like there's more opportunity out there that the world hasn't taken.
So many opportunities, right? Right, guys. I think that'll do it. I think we'll round it off there. We'll finish the video on. We'll finish the Disney retrospective on whales suckling. There we go. Well, whales were in Fantasia 2000.
Monkey cheese is the thing we want.
Monkey cheese. Princey says, I have Nipsdale. Want to milk me?
You can. That's the thing. And I think you could sell it. Why don't I sell my own milk? Actually, I can't milk. Can I? Can whales milk?
No. I'm almost certainly. Maybe there's some like freakish exception.
I think it would be illegal to find a woman and milk her and sell it. I feel that would be illegal. So
isn't that Mad Max Fury Road?
It could. I've not seen that.
He's got like a whole bunch of his wives hooked up to milking machines.
Huh. Interesting.
I think that's the opening scene. Anyway, in this wholesome retrospective that has been the 100 Years of Wonder, it has been an absolute pleasure. Very, very grateful that we managed to talk about all these films that have been very, very near and dear to my heart. And thank you guys for sharing in them all as well. We will be back with more retrospectives, and we will be back next week with Inside Out 2 as we take on the best animated feature film. So hopefully see some of you there. Brian, what are you doing? You're the last one here, mate. We're rounding it off. See ya.
Merry Christmas.